Hello everyone, welcome to Pravara Science Academy. My name is Professor Vinay Kothartil and today we are going to continue with the Chemistry Bridge course. In our previous video, we studied some of the basic concepts of chemistry which were taught to you in standard 8th, 9th and 10th. In this video, we are going to continue with the same chapter, but here we are going to introduce some new concepts, some additional properties, some additional definitions which are very important for standard 11th and are introduced in your standard 11th syllabus. These are the topics that will be covered in today's video. These topics are properties of matter and measurement of these properties. Here we are going to study both the physical and chemical properties of matter. We are going to study what is a boson particle. This is because I asked you what is a boson particle in our previous video. And finally, we are going to understand the definition of atomic mass unit. So without wasting any time, let's begin with the video and let's see the first concept, that is the properties of matter. When we talk about matter, its properties can be broadly divided into two types. These types of properties are the physical properties and the chemical properties. Now what are physical properties? Physical properties are those properties which can be measured or observed without changing the chemical composition of substances. Such properties are called as physical properties. Similarly, what are chemical properties? Chemical properties are those properties which can be observed when a substance undergoes change in a chemical composition. Such properties are called as chemical properties. Now, when we talk about physical properties, the examples of physical properties are mass and weight, boiling point and melting point, and density. Now, these properties are called as physical properties because these properties can be understood without the requirement of conducting a chemical reaction. And as we are not conducting any chemical reaction, there will not be any change in the chemical composition of a substance. Moving on, examples of chemical properties are reactivities, combustibility, and acidity and basicity. Now, these examples are considered as chemical properties because if you have to study these properties, you will have to conduct chemical reactions, and only once a chemical reaction is completed, then and then only we can study these properties. Hence, such properties are called as chemical properties. Moving ahead, when we talk about properties and when we talk about studying the physical and chemical properties, we require some method to measure these properties, to quantify these properties. And now we are going to see the methods for measurement of properties. For measurement of properties, we use the concept called as units. What is an unit? The arbitrarily decided and universally accepted standards are called as units. Moving ahead, there are different systems of unit. These systems are mainly divided into three types. The first one is the CGS system, that is the centimeter, gram and second system. In this system, if you are taking or considering the length, then that length will be in centimeter, the mass will be in gram, and the time measured will be in seconds. Similarly, the other two units are, or the other two systems are MK system, which stands for meter, kilogram, and second system, and FPS system, which stands for foot, pound, and second system. Now, based on different regions and different countries, there are different systems which are utilized. For example, we in India utilize the CGS and the MKS system, whereas in United States or in UK, they use the foot, pound and second system, that is the FPS system. But the use of different systems in different areas or in different countries makes it very difficult for the universal study of properties of matter. Means if you have to study matter at a universal level, then there should be some universally accepted and one common unit which is utilized and which is accepted by all the other countries. For the same reason, in the year 1960, the International System of Units, which is called as the SI units, was accepted worldwide after a conference which was conducted in France. In French, these SI units are called as Les Systèmes International de Unités. So, what are SI units? SI units are nothing but the units which are accepted internationally and globally for the purpose of study of matter. SI unit consists of 7 fundamental units. Let us see these 7 fundamental units. These fundamental units are length, mass, time, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, amount of substance, and luminous intensity. Now you already know about length, mass, time, electric current, and thermodynamic temperature. Remaining 2 units you are going to learn either in this chapter or in the chapters that are going to be introduced later in the chemistry bridge course. The SI units for these basic physical quantities are also mentioned in the table. For example, the SI unit of length is meter, the SI unit of mass is kilogram, the SI unit of time is second, that for electric current is ampere, for thermodynamic temperature is Kelvin, for amount of substance it is mole, and for luminous intensity it is candela. These are the definitions that help us understand the given SI unit for a given physical property of a matter. Moving ahead, let us understand the measurement of different physical properties of matter. The very first physical property is mass and weight. You should know one thing, dear students. The concept of mass and the concept of weight are two very different concepts. In our day to day life, we tend to confuse these two concepts, but in reality, in scientific language, these two concepts are completely different. What is mass? Mass is nothing but the amount of matter present in a substance. So, the amount of matter present in a substance is called as the mass of that substance. And what is weight? Weight is the force exerted by the gravity on an object. So, the force exerted by the gravity on an object is called as the weight of an object. So, as we see, mass and weight are two different concepts and two completely different definitions. Now, when we compare mass and weight, mass is more fundamental property than a weight of a matter. This is because the gravitation force on the earth varies from place to place. Hence, the weight of a substance may also vary from place to place. But the amount of matter which is present inside a substance will remain constant or will remain the same. Hence, when we compare mass and weight of a substance, the mass of a substance will always remain constant wherever you go on the universe or wherever you go on the planet. Whereas the weight of a substance will be different from its mass as the value of gravity changes from place to place. SI unit of mass is kilogram, but in chemistry we use units like gram and milligrams because in chemistry the amount of matter that is required for studying the physical and chemical properties is very small. We do not require material or a substance in bulk. Moving ahead, you should know that 1 kilogram is equals to 1000 gram. The word kilo indicates the value 10 raised to 3. So whenever and wherever we are going to use the concept kilo, its value will be in the power of 10 raised to 3. In science, we use number of prefixes to determine, to understand, to explain different values of properties of matter. As I mentioned, whenever we talk about kilo, kilo represents 10 raised to 3. In chemistry, the most important concepts or most important multiples which we normally use are the pico, the nano, the micro, the milli, the centi, the deci, the deca, the kilo, the mega, and the giga. So these are the most commonly used multiples and prefixes in chemistry. Obviously, these multiples and prefixes are used for the measurement of properties of matter. Now, moving ahead, let's understand the second measurement or the second property of matter. The second measurement for property of matter is the length. Length is used to measure properties like bond length, atomic radius, and wavelengths of electromagnetic radiations. Now, what is bond length? The distance between the center of nucleus of two atoms in a chemical bond is called as bond length. Atomic radius is the distance between the center of nucleus of an atom and the most loosely bound electron revolving around the nucleus of an atom. So the distance between the center of the nucleus of an atom and the outermost electron is called as atomic radius. The SI unit of length is meter. By this time, you must be thinking that bond lengths and atomic radiuses must be very small in their size. And because of this reason, we cannot use the SI unit of length, that is meter. So in chemistry, we use much smaller concepts or much smaller units like the picometer and the nanometer. Both these units are used to represent the length which is related to study of properties of matter in chemistry. 1 nanometer equals to 10 raised to 9 meters, whereas 1 picometer equals to 10 raised to minus 12 meters. We have already seen these multiples and prefixes in the previous slide. Moving ahead, let us understand the third measurement which is used for studying the physical properties of matter. And this property is the property of volume. Volume is nothing but the space occupied by a three-dimensional object. The SI unit of volume is meter cube. But again, since we consider very smaller units in chemistry, we are going to use the concepts of or the units of centimeter cube or decimeter cube to measure the volume of any substance in chemistry. However, the most common unit used for the measurement of volume is liters. We should know that 1 liter is equal to 1 decimeter cube, which is nothing but equal to 1000 ml, and which is nothing but equal to 1000 centimeter cube. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Suppose we have cubes which are arranged in a given manner as shown in the figure. The dimension of these cubes are 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter, with that is its length, its breadth, and its height, they are all 1 centimeter. So the volume of that one individual cube becomes 1 centimeter cube, and this is nothing but 1 ml. Suppose we arrange the cubes vertically and horizontally in a group of 10, we get the image as it is shown. Now if we calculate the volume of this cube, its volume becomes 1000 centimeter cube. Why? Because we have 10 cubes which are arranged vertically, and we have 10 cubes which are arranged horizontally. So the length and breadth as well as the height of this type of arrangement becomes 10 centimeter, and 10 centimeter is nothing but 1 decimeter. So obviously if you calculate the volume of such an arrangement, its volume becomes 1000 centimeter cube. I hope you can answer a very simple question. I want you to answer, I want you to think the number of cubes that are present in this arrangement. I hope you already know the answer to this question. The answer is 1000 cubes. There are 1000 cubes arranged in the given arrangement of cubic structures. Moving ahead, let us understand the next measurement which is used to study the physical properties of matter. And this next property is density. What is density? Density is the mass occupied per unit volume of a substance. The formula for density is mass upon volume. So its SI unit becomes kilogram per decimeter cube, because the SI unit of mass is kilogram, whereas the SI unit of volume is meter cube. It is also represented by kgm raised to minus 3. In chemistry, smaller units like gram per centimeter cube are used, where mass is in grams and volume is in centimeter cube. Moving on, let us understand the last measurement which is used to study the physical properties of matter. And this measurement is temperature. Temperature is nothing but the measurement of hotness or coldness of an object. The SI unit of temperature is Kelvin. The starting point of Kelvin scale is the absolute zero temperature. In our previous video, I have already explained you what is absolute zero temperature. The temperature is nothing but minus 273.15 degree Celsius. Other temperature scales which are used in our day-to-day life are the Celsius scale and the Fahrenheit scale. Celsius scale is predominantly used in India and countries which were predominantly under the British rule, except USA. Why? Because USA uses the Fahrenheit scale. The scales Fahrenheit and Celsius can be related by the expression degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into degree Celsius plus 32. If you interchange the concepts, if you interchange the values, you will get the values of degree Fahrenheit and degree Celsius. Moving ahead, the relation between Celsius and Kelvin scale can be given by the simple expression that Kelvin is equal to degree Celsius plus 273.15. It means if you have to convert degree Celsius into Kelvin, you just have to add 273.15 in the temperature that is given in degree Celsius. Some common examples of temperature in different cells are as follows. Freezing point of water. We know that the freezing point of water is 0 degree Celsius. In Kelvin scale, this value is 273 Kelvin, and in degree Fahrenheit, it is 32 degree Fahrenheit. The next example is the room temperature. The value of room temperature is 25 degrees Celsius, or it is 298 Kelvin, or it is 77 degree Fahrenheit. The next example is the normal human body temperature. The normal human body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius. It is nothing but 310 Kelvin or 98.6 degree Fahrenheit. Now you must have heard the term that an XYZ person is having 101 fever or 102 fever. That 101, 102 is not the temperature in degrees Celsius. You should know that such temperatures are impossible in human body, because human body is made up of water, and the water will immediately evaporate around 100 degrees Celsius. So when the doctor says an XYZ person has 101, 102 temperature, that the scale which the doctor is using is the degree Fahrenheit scale. Moving on, we know that the boiling point, I just mentioned that the boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. In Kelvin scale, it is 373 Kelvin, and in degree Fahrenheit, it is 212 degree Fahrenheit. The term Kelvin was named after the physicist William Thomson, who is better known as Lord Kelvin. Lord Kelvin was a scientist who introduced the Kelvin scale. The Kelvin scale starts from 0. You should also remember that unlike degree Celsius scale, Kelvin scale do not have negative values. Kelvin scale starts with 0 and its value will always increase as the temperature increases. The Celsius scale was named after physicist Anders Celsius, and the Fahrenheit scale was named after Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Moving ahead, moving ahead, let us understand some simple chemical properties of matter. We are going to study the chemical properties of matter in deep in our next videos. Here I am only introducing different chemical properties of matter. The first property is the reactivity. Reactivity is nothing but the ability of matter to chemically react with other substances. Reactivity differs from substance to substance. It depends on various factors like size of that substance, its chemical availability, its arrangement of electrons, and the attraction between the nucleus and the electrons. Moving ahead, the next chemical property is acidity and basicity. Acidity is nothing but the tendency of a substance to act as an acid, and basicity is nothing but the tendency of a substance to act as a base. There are many examples of acids and bases that you can find in your chemistry laboratory. For example, there is hydrochloric acid HCl, sulfuric acid H2SO4, nitric acid HNO3, and bases like sodium hydroxide NaOH, potassium hydroxide KOH, and so on. The next chemical property is the property of oxidation. Oxidation, in the simplest term, is the ability of a substance to react with oxygen. Almost all the substances and all the types of matter react with oxygen. So it becomes very important to study the chemical properties and the way these substances react with oxygen. Now moving ahead, in the previous video, I asked you what is a boson particle. I hope you searched the internet and you have found out the definition or what is a boson particle. Boson particle is a particle that follows the Bose-Einstein statistics. Now, what are Bose-Einstein statistics? Bose-Einstein statistics explains the characteristics of different elementary particles. It is named after two great scientists, Satyendranath Bose and Albert Einstein. As the name suggests, Satyendranath Bose was an Indian physicist who was a lecturer at the University of Kolkata. There are various examples of boson particles. These examples include photons and atoms which contain a stable nuclei with even mass number. For example, the atoms of deuterium and helium. Now, Deuterium is the isotope of hydrogen which contains one proton and one neutron. Hence, its mass number becomes 2. Whereas helium contains 2 protons and 2 neutrons, so its mass number becomes 4. So, atoms having even mass number are examples of boson. You can search the internet to find out what are photons. I am going to definitely answer what are photons in our next video. And if you find out what are photons, you can mention the answer of this in the comments below. Moving ahead, let us understand the definition of atomic mass unit. Now in the previous video, I asked you the relationship between 1 Dalton and kilogram. What is the definition of atomic mass unit? 1 AMU is defined as the mass exactly equal to 1/12 of the mass of one carbon 12 atom. What is carbon 12? Carbon 12 is an isotope of carbon having atomic mass unit 12. It is the most abundant isotope of carbon. Mass of one carbon 12 atom is 1.992648 into 10 raised to minus 23 grams. So 1/12 becomes 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams. So when we say 1 AMU, that 1 AMU is equal to 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams. The question which I asked in the previous video was, what is the relationship between 1 Dalton and kilogram? From this value, you can easily calculate the relationship between Daltons and kilogram. If 1 AMU is equal to 1 Dalton, that is, if 1 Dalton is equal to 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 24 grams, then 1 AMU, 1 Dalton is equal to 1.66056 into 10 raised to minus 27 kilograms. The conversion is very simple. You have to take the mass in grams and you have to multiply it by 10 raised to minus 3 because we are calculating it in per kilogram. Value 10 raised to minus 24 and 10 raised to minus 27 represents that the value of Dalton is very small and it is very difficult to understand, calculate and relate to a given chemical substance. I have another question for you, and that question is, why do we only use the C12 atom for consideration of atomic mass? I will give you a hint for this question. Initially, the mass of hydrogen atom was considered for calculation of atomic masses of substances, but it was observed that the hydrogen atom does not contain neutrons and other elements except hydrogen contain neutron. The idea of considering hydrogen to calculate the atomic mass of an element was rejected. From this hint, you should be able to answer the question. If you know the answer, as always, you can write the answer in the comment section below. If you understood the concepts, then please like the video. And if you really like the video, then please subscribe to the channel and share the videos with your friends. Thank you.